Welcome, whoever is joining into the live. I'm just here getting ready. Just a couple minutes more, and we'll get started.
To Nomas Podcast Live, where we will react to videos, talk about current trending events, and possibly one or two conspiracies. So let's sit back, relax, and let's chat.
Hoy Nomas!
And we are freaking live once again. Welcome to Nomas Podcast Live. This is going to be episode number 3. Super excited. Last week I wasn't able to actually make it happen. Just the life happens, and actually I think I fell behind on my regular podcast, which I schedule them every Wednesday. But this one in particular, I just didn't want to miss. This is something that I really enjoy. It's a big time challenge for me. One, because I had to have some sort of direction with the life, but at the same time, it gives me the liberty to put myself in a situation that I'm not as comfortable as I usually am on a regular podcast. So at the end of the day, like I've mentioned to other people, me doing the podcast, me doing the lives, it's a school for me. So even having my editors, my team in specific, at the end of the day, I see it more of a school for me, right? That all of this I'm investing, but at the same time, it's a school for me that I'm learning as I go. So I think when you put it in that perspective, you can't lose at all, right? Now, another thing too that I wanted to mention is one of the hardest things in anything you want to do in life, it's always the beginning. Why? Because you're so scared of being criticized, right? You're so scared. For instance, right now, I put it very last minute. I didn't even notify my cousin, which at times I let him know, and he really enjoys my content. Not sure if he actually does, but he always supports me, and then I'll like reach out to another friend. That way they can be notified, right? But this one in particular, I just didn't really want to mention it to anybody. I posted it last minute. I think I only mentioned it to Damian and to one of my friends from TikTok and from back in the days. Other than that, I just wanted not to really promote it at all. But yeah, I just wanted to like use this as pretty much like Chris, I see you as another drop in the bucket. So yeah, so we're gonna get started with this podcast, and I wanted to get started with a quote of the week. And I think I've mentioned this before in the podcast, but on the live, I'm going to say it and you can relate it to what I was mentioning is speak your mind, even if your voice shakes. Once again, speak your mind, even if your voice shakes. There's going to be many times in life that you're going to be scared to do specific things, but those are the things that challenge you and make you grow as a human being, as a person, as a man. For instance, right now, something that I realized is that I go through different waves, right? And most of the times I try to maintain and staying fit and staying healthy. But then I notice that I start slacking off. I start eating too many freaking chocolates. For instance, if my fiance brings chocolates, and I can't stop freaking eating them, right? So right now I caught myself with that. I'm kind of slacking again. So made sure that I worked out again. And now it's time for me to like check myself and get back on track, especially because spring break and summer are coming up. So yeah, regardless, you want to speak your mind, even if your voice shakes, no matter what, you know, be a man, just do what you want to do in life, because at the end of the day, it kind of goes with this episode, right? I was going to say you only live once, but this episode is actually going to be part of reincarnation. So you only live once as this entity, as this person, but based on a couple of videos that we're going to be watching, there's other lives. So, all right, I'm going to try out the comments and see if it works by me pressing the button. Let me see if it works. Nope. So that's an old comment from me. Let me see if it works with Chris's comment. I'm going to pull it up right now. Yay, it freaking worked. What's going on, Chris Fernandez? This is the man that freaking taught me how to go live. If it wasn't for this person, I wouldn't know how to do this. And obviously, I learned some of the things on the back end, me practicing and all that. But if it wasn't for Chris, I wouldn't be doing lives. So thank you, Chris. All right, so... All right, as I mentioned, if you're new to the channel, I do have a hotline that if you guys want to be interactive with the channel, you guys are more than welcome to call in. I want to have more interaction, especially on the lives, so that you guys can call in and share specific, maybe if I shared a specific video, you can drop a comment, let me know you want to call in, and you can call in and be part of this live. So I always have this call-in number available to anybody that's watching these episodes. Also, like I mentioned, every Wednesday I have a brand new podcast. So make sure you guys subscribe and watch those podcasts. I've been like consistent with my uploads, and that's something that I hold very, very dear to myself, and I feel super proud of me staying consistent. Now I have my podcast episodes, and I want to be consistent. It's same as consistency as a podcast, but for the lives. All right, so okay, yeah. So long story short, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I wanted to pretty much share this first video that I saw, because I was able to kind of resonate with some of the beliefs that I have. At times, whenever we watch certain cartoons, I even question if the person or the creator of these cartoons, if they know something we don't know, like if they're part of the elites, like for instance, The Simpsons and other cartoons out there. They always put a lot of truth within the cartoons, also in movies, right? But now I don't know if it's just that they have the similar mindset as somebody that likes to question a lot of different things, or if they truly know something that the majority or the masses don't know, right? So when I first saw that, it caught my attention, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I want to be able to talk about this and see what other people have to say about that. Let's see. Another comment here. Let me see. I know the thumbnail. I just seen that video last night. Huh. Oh, okay. Yeah. So actually that video popped up on TikTok. So yeah, if the man, if you have some insight on this, feel free to chime in. But yeah, I'm gonna play it right now so you guys can have an understanding on what we're talking about right now. First reaction video. Let's check it out. Yes, sir. Let's see. Oh shit.
Just live their lives and die, never realizing that they were born from the spirit world. It can be difficult for them to understand while in physical form.
Here, let me play it again.
Some people just live their lives and die, never realizing that they were born from the spirit world. It can be...
So some people just live their life without knowing that they're part of the spirit world.
Some people just live their lives and die, never realizing that they were born from the spirit world. It can be difficult for them to understand while in physical form. Often they refuse to believe even after experiencing their true spirit selves.
Crazy, right?
Yes, but I do believe in the spirit world. What about reincarnation?
So the reason why this one in specific it caught my attention is because so many people, and I don't know if I'm wrong or I don't know if I'm right, but one of the things too is that a lot of the times we do live this human experience, but we forget that our true selves is at the end of the day is a spirit, it's a soul, and the majority of times we don't do much to try to find our true selves, right? And I'm a strong believer that God, the universe, puts a lot of those hints and messages into your thought process, into your heart, to which meaning that's part of who you should be or the path that you should be following. So that's why I'm able to resonate a lot with this, and whatever I feel like doing, whatever messages I receive, I try to follow. For instance, me doing lives, for some reason it's telling me to continue doing podcasts, doing content creating, and doing the lives. So I'm following those messages.
Reincarnation? I don't know much about that.
Reincarnation is the Buddhist philosophy where humans are reborn many times between this world and the next. And I agree. Huh? I get the feeling that I was an aristocrat or king in a past life.
You guessed correctly. Huh? You were an aristocrat in your past life.
Seriously?
Is that so hard to imagine? People are reborn in different countries and eras as they accumulate experiences for growth. These are the...
So that's another crazy thing too, right? That if you do reincarnate, there's really no control as far as what we know, that you can literally be born into anything in anywhere in the world, or who knows, maybe even another freaking planet, right? And we just don't know. But like the cartoon was stating that in the Buddhist, I think religion, a lot of people, I guess it's a belief that in the Buddhist religion they do believe in reincarnation. So, but even if you put it into what is it, Christianity, I can't say it, but even Jesus Christ, right? He was reborn, right? So he reincarnated. So I think it's been put out there on a lot of biblical documents.
The core principles and teachings of reincarnation, a cycle of perpetual rebirth. But when the time comes for them to be reborn, they must forget everything they know and start their lives anew once again.
But why is that? Because that is the rule on Earth.
Wait, what do you mean?
What we mean is, the whole challenge of being in human form is key to remembering your spirit self. Whoa, but wait, that's way too difficult. It's impossible.
I understand. It certainly is difficult on Earth today as we know it. Just mentioning aliens or the spirit world can be controversial. It can get you laughed at too. Which is unfortunate, because throughout life, people have been given different opportunities to remember their true selves and the spirit world.
Freaking crazy, right? And that's with anything. A lot of the times, the people that question the norm in society, those are the people that get ridiculed, or they get laughed at, or they are seen as, I guess, freaking, I don't know, not following the what the society considers as normal, right? But then later on, as time goes by, people start to realize and start waking up. But in reality, a lot of these people, like myself, I already knew a lot of different things. For instance, right now, something, if you speak about like psychedelics, about ayahuasca, things like that, a lot of the times people look at those type of things as something crazy, as something like recreational, and for something that you should be worried and be treated like, I guess, like a drug. But in reality, if you really do your research, it's nothing like that. It's healing. And for instance, with plant medicine, at times it forces you and it pushes you to dig deep inside of you, and at times it does connect you to your past lives. I know a couple people that they've seen their past. They've seen even family members that have passed. So I guess in a sense it connects you to your inner self, to the spiritual realm.
Haley,
And since they are unable to remember, they find themselves in conflict over different philosophies and harbor animosity toward each other, unaware that they were once families and friends in their past lives. You see? It's such a pity.
That's because you've all forgotten your true selves. Our true selves? What do you mean? I don't understand. Who are you? When looking at me, what you actually see is you, reflected back. Try to remember your own true self, the truth of your soul within you.
So yeah, Chris, Damian, if you guys are still here, I don't know what's your guys' thoughts with this. Do you guys believe in reincarnation? Have you guys ever talked to anybody about reincarnation? What are your thoughts? Let me know. Like I said, I personally do believe in reincarnation. It just, I don't know how it freaking works, right? But something just tells me that it does exist. And there's been a lot of cases that kids are able to recollect a lot of past memories as living as a different person. And actually something right now that I wanted to share towards the end of the video of this live is that somebody like just this weekend experienced something like that. A little girl mentioned something to their family at it was a viewing and this little girl mentioned something to them, but I'll share that towards the end of the live. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are if you guys have experienced something like that or know of somebody that has experienced some sort of reincarnation, or even at times through dreams. A lot of people get a lot of information through dreams as they're dreaming. A lot of people mention that they have what is it called? I think lucid dreams or vivid dreams or something like that. So, but yeah, now let me pull up another video that this is pretty much the whole thing that I mentioned about kids remembering their past lives. I think Chris dropped a comment here. I think it's totally possible the same amount of energy that existed in the beginning of time is the same amount of energy that existed throughout all of time. I agree, right? And this is something too that even, you know what, I'll go through the comments right now as well, because somebody was mentioning something along the lines that everything is existing like all at the same time. Everything's existing at the same time. So there's no such thing as like past, present, and future, because it's different timelines happening. Pretty much, what's the word? I guess besides each other, something like that. Let me pull up the comments, but yeah, I agree. So the anime casually drops the truth and how the spirit world works. We are on the right timeline. My soul says it's tired of being reincarnated. I feel like my dreams tell me, but they are also very difficult to understand. This reminds me of the Pixar movie Soul. It truly is unfortunate how many don't believe. Not everyone is meant to wake up, and that's okay. And yeah, that's something that I've realized too, that when I found out about plant medicine, when I found out about a lot of different things, I wanted to share with a lot of my friends, right? I wanted to like try to wake them up, and a lot of the times, similar to what the cartoon just mentioned, a lot of the times you kind of like looked down upon, and they kind of like stay away, like this guy's a little like crazy. So you know what, I just freaking stopped, you know. I stopped trying to like motivate people into like trying to like learn about these type of things, and I just spread the message through my podcast and through my platform, and whoever's really interested in these things, then I share with them, and I love having those type of conversations. But other than that, like this comment mentioned, I stopped trying to wake people up. So let me see. Energy only gets displaced moving from place to place. Yeah, totally freaking agree. And a little insight with this too is that you know how you see ghosts. A lot of people have encountered like seeing ghosts through a picture or people that have that gift, or seeing people that have passed. My belief is that, like we mentioned earlier, all these different timelines are happening at the same time, right? And what just so happens is that, let's say, for instance, you take a picture and the other dimension bleeds through the image of the picture, and it just so happens that you caught it. But it's not that this person is like in another freaking realm or whatnot. It's just, it's happening all within, but some people are gifted enough to see that. So that's why a lot of people see ghosts and experience ghosts through pictures and etc., because it's happening here. They're probably here, knock on wood, right? But we just don't have that gift. Some people do, but I strongly think that some people, or at times that dimension, that realm bleeds through our physical life. Let's see with Mr. Damian. Big skeptic here, but it's a good thing to separate reincarnation, incarnation, and resurrection. That's true. That's true. I think I made the mistake to to compare it, but you're right about that. Let's see. But yeah, that's what's taught in astronomy and physics. Yep. All right, so yeah, let me pull up the other video of the kids that were talking about their past lives, and I guess you can say that this is a little bit of proof of pretty much what we're talking about right now. So let me pull it up. But by the way, I put a LUT on my video, so I'm not sure if you guys can tell.
Proof that reincarnation is real.
Sorry about that. It's freaking, they record this freaking TikToks at different audio levels. But yeah, I put a LUT on my video, so I don't know if you guys can tell the different lighting and colors that I have here. But all right, here's the video.
Take it up head.
Proof that reincarnation is real.
Take it up head. Take off my head? Yeah. You want me to take off my head? Yeah. Why? I said. Do you know what'll happen if you take off my head?
Yeah. I wish I could be a pirate again.
When were you a pirate?
I was a long time ago when you weren't alive, and then I shrunk into a little kid.
The river made me and you pass away?
Yes.
A long time ago?
Yes. And now we're back.
So, we died. Is that what you said?
We just passed away.
In the river?
Yes. With you.
Oh, with me?
Yes. I would have passed away again.
This one is in specific right now. As I'm watching it, like you can tell how much pain the little kid is actually feeling, as he's saying that he doesn't want to pass away again. And here, let me take it back a little so I can recall exactly what he said.
River? Yeah. So, a long time ago, river made me and you pass away?
That was a long time ago when you weren't alive, and then I shrunk into a little kid.
The river made me and you pass away?
Yes.
A long time ago?
Yes. And now we're back.
So, we died. Is that what you said?
We just passed away.
That's so freaking sad, man.
With you.
Oh, with me?
Yes. I would have passed away again. I want to again.
Why?
Because I don't want to be here. I will come back here soon as...
Grace and honey, what are you talking about?
Where's my grandma?
Yeah, that one in particular, I mean, all of them are pretty crazy, right? But this one in particular, the one we just watched, it's insane. You can tell like how much pain he was going through, right? Of him not wanting to pretty much pass away again because of all the pain that he went through, right? Or like at least maybe not physical pain, but just the effect and probably knowing that they're no longer going to be living.
Up in heaven. What did she do to make her go up in heaven?
She was just very old.
Did you grandma almost couldn't walk?
She was old. She could walk, but she was old.
Mommy, your grandma's here. And she says, "Hi, Jamila."
What?
Your grandma's here. And she says, Hi, Jamala.
Her mommy explained there was no way she could know this name because she was called Jamala 30 years ago by
That's
her grandmother
crazy.
while growing up and never told it to anyone.
Oh man, the last one was crazy. You can tell that he's been part of reincarnated a couple times. Crazy. But yeah, just some insane stories, right? Like for instance, that one that I think what was it? The little girl mentioned somebody's name, and she wouldn't have known of that person's name. So there's a lot of cases that I've seen like that. There's times when kids know a specific thing without them being given that type of information. Here, let's see what Mr. Damian says. So, Chris, it says it looks crispy. That's what's up. Thank you, bro. Seeing is believing. Don't recall of anyone remembers a previous life as an animal or an insect. The numbers of population don't add up. An explanation for this is as you get close to enlightenment. I don't really get this one. So seeing is believing. Don't recall of anyone remembers as a previous life as an animal or an insect. The numbers of population don't add up. An explanation for this is you get close to it. Yeah, I really wonder if it's always been the same amount of people coming back into this realm. But there's been some people that have experienced life of animals, but that's been through psychedelics. So not sure if it correlates with one another, but I for sure have heard of those instances. You reincarnate on another life form. That's why no one remembers, and all the extinct species have reached the end of the journey. Maybe, but then at the same time, who knows if all those different species were truth or not? Now you have to question everything. At least I like to question everything, unless I personally saw it, right? And now you don't even know, right? Because freaking AI, you see a picture and you don't even know if the picture is real or not. But let's see. What would you do if your kids said they had a past life? I would ask them more questions about it, because if I'm a strong believer that there is such thing as past lives, for instance, my daughter, she has a couple birthmarks, and what they say that with these birthmarks at times it correlates to their passing. This is I guess you can probably say it's a folk tale, or it's a legend of these type of things, right? That people say, but who knows if my daughter were to say that, I would ask her things. I would want to, like, if she was willing to tell me, then I would ask her and try to find help for her to try to remember if she wanted to remember. But of course it would be kind of a little bit weird, right? But I think I would support it and ask questions. The last one, AI is getting wild. Oh, is it AI? Nah, that can't be AI. Really? I thought it was real. I don't know. It looked pretty real to me. Let's see. Chris, I will tell them to tell me more. Oh, there you go. I would do exactly the same thing. It's a double-edged sword, my G. You could ruin their potential, form their own personality and sense of self. Scary shit. Yeah, that's true. I mean, obviously, I would want to encourage them to be their true self and all that. But if they remember, I have a theory, right? As kids right now, they have a lot of potential, and they remember a lot of different things as kids. But as you get older, you start to forget a lot of those things that, for instance, like right now, I freaking hardly remember my childhood, right? But as kids, they say that they're in tune with seeing things or knowing specific things that us as adults that we get conditioned in life, we forget. So this is a fun one. I'm not sure if this one in particular is true, but if it is true, then this is one of those cases that it would be pretty wild. So let me pull this one up.
Scientists have only confirmed one real case of reincarnation. Scientists have only confirmed.
So scientists confirmed one real case of reincarnation. Like I mentioned, this I don't really see real pictures here, so who knows if this is actually truth. But supposedly this is one real true case.
Scientists have only confirmed one real case of reincarnation in history, and what this little girl did will give you chills. In the quiet town of Fairbrook, Indiana, in 1939, a young couple welcomed their baby girl, Eleanor. For the first few years, Eleanor seemed like any other child until she started speaking strange words no one could understand. At first, her parents thought it was just baby talk, but as she grew older, it became clear. Eleanor was speaking fluent Chinese. The family was in shock. They had no connection to China, no exposure to the language. Desperate for answers, they sought out language experts, who not only confirmed Eleanor's fluency, but also noted that she used phrases that hadn't been spoken for centuries. As time passed, Eleanor's behavior became even more unsettling. One day, she pointed at an old map and insisted, "Take me here." The location? A remote village in China. Overwhelmed and desperate, her parents finally gave in. After a long journey, they arrived at the village. While traveling through the countryside by train, Eleanor suddenly demanded they stop. She led them to an old farmhouse, ran to the door, and knocked frantically. An elderly man answered, and without hesitation, Eleanor whispered, "Bo." The family watched in stunned silence as Eleanor walked to a section of the wall, removed a brick, and pulled out a small, dusty doll. Clutching it tightly, she turned to the...
Yeah, this one seems like too perfect, right? Like remembering exactly everything. So it sounds made up. I have heard of other ones where kids actually remember, for instance, in their front yards, they mentioned, oh, there's this specific swing, this specific house, and they have taken the kids to those locations. And it just so happens that the parents end up running into the same description that the kid was saying. And I guess the house existed. But this one in particular doesn't seem too real. It sounds almost, it sounds very fictional.
To the old man and said, "Don't you remember me? This was mine." The room fell silent, and what Eleanor said next left everyone frozen in shock.
Yeah, so who knows? I don't think this one in particular is probably factual, but just thought it was kind of like a fun one to share. Once again, like I mentioned, if you guys want to call in, I have the number here. Just let me know. Drop a comment before you call in. That way I know you guys are going to call in, and so we can chat real quick. But yeah, once again, this is the number 619-713-4176. And this is the last one I have to share before I kind of share the story that happened this weekend with somebody. I can't really mention the name, who it was and all that, but something very, very similar happened, like these cases. So here, let me play the last one.
Walker, tilt your head if you were reincarnated. Tilt your head if you're Granny. Are you playing jokes? Are you playing jokes on us? Are you Grandpa? Are you Granny?
Oh shit, that's crazy. So it might be that the kid itself, it's just that he's very understanding and very like aware of what the mom says, right? In regards to like, oh, if you like tilt your head, and maybe he just understands what tilting the head is. But yeah, this one in particular, I think it got like, check it out. It got, let me see if you guys can see it, but it got 3.6 million views. So a lot of people thought it was pretty crazy. Let me see what the comments were saying. Walker is now sleeping outside. Yeah, it would be kind of crazy, right? Especially that the lady was saying that if he was Granny or Grandpa, the grin after you said reincarnation, like he was impressed, you caught it. The fact that he laughed when you said jokes, also he understood. Yeah, this would scare me. Yeah, that one in particular, if it was true, it would be kind of crazy, right? Knowing that, oh shoot, this is Grandpa but reincarnated. But sorry, Teddy's trying to get outside. Just 1 second. But yeah, so I just thought all of these topics were or videos were pretty interesting to share. I know there's kind of like, you know, some believes don't believes here with Mr. Chris and Damian, but yeah. So the story that I kind of just wanted to share from this weekend, it's so like I mentioned, there was a viewing this weekend that somebody that I know went to, and in this viewing there was this little girl that she's the daughter of somebody's aunt, and this girl just randomly goes to this lady and tells her, hey, you know what, this person that passed just told me that she's okay and to not be worried, she's okay, and she also has met up with so and so that had passed years ago. So this little girl just straight up told this other lady that she had encountered reuniting with people that had passed, and also something that she mentioned, that this person that had passed in the viewing said that now she was in a different body and she was good now. So just kind of crazy that this little girl just randomly, I think she's like 9 or I'm not sure too specific on the age, but crazy that just the little girl randomly would say, this person that passed away told me she met up with so and so that passed and she's good now, and now she's in a different body. Freaking mind blowing. And this story was pretty much told by somebody I know. That's why I can't tell the name, who this person is or who they are, but freaking insane that these type of cases happen. Whether I personally believe, and of course I don't disregard any of these different cases. I like to always keep an open mind, right? Because not until you actually see something physically there, like I mentioned, now even if you see things, you don't even know if it's real or not. So yeah, but that's pretty much gonna wrap up this video. If anybody wants to call in, I'll wait a couple, like 1 or 2 minutes if you guys want to call in. Other than that, just I'll end the live here shortly. Tomorrow I gotta be up by 4:30 in the morning. I gotta be at work at 6. That's my new schedule. Hopefully one day I'm able to stay up late and be doing lives with a whole bunch of people. I appreciate everyone that showed up here, because like I mentioned at the beginning of the live, it's always the hardest times and moments when you start something. I think the other day I was mentioning something along the lines. It's almost like when you have a presentation as a kid and you're expecting your family, your mom, your dad, and then like nobody shows up. That's kind of, I was like comparing my life, like, hey, I'm gonna do a live, and if nobody showed up, which I didn't really care, right? Whether somebody showed up or not, because at the end of the day, it's content that still gets uploaded and people can rewatch at a later time. But obviously, I appreciate every single one of you guys that took the time to come and join into the live. It just makes it more interactive. And as of right now, I'm going to be doing lives every Sunday. As of right now, I think Sundays really work for me. Even though like it's 8 o'clock, by 9 o'clock, I need to stop and get ready for bed because I do wake up early. But yeah, so like I said, this is the number. If anybody wants to call in, just I'm ready. If not, then we'll just call it a day. Let me pull up this last comment that I see here. The girl is a medium and doesn't even know it. Possibly. Like I said, kids at times they're more in tune with the other realms and other gifts that we lose as adults. So who knows? Maybe she is. But okay, I'll wait a couple seconds more, and if not, we're gonna call it a day. We have Teddy here in the back once again. Yeah, like I said, subscribe to the channel. I really enjoy it. I appreciate you guys not being silent freaking watchers. that interact, and you guys make it even funner to do these type of lives and content. So once again, next live is going to be next Sunday at 8 o'clock. I'll make sure that I promote it now. Eventually more. I think after the 10th episode, I'm going to start promoting it a lot more. But you guys can pretty much see the evolution from me starting to later on in life. Hopefully have like 100 people, 200 people, 1,000 people. Let's go ahead and manifest that. So once again, my name is Angel Houseman. Thank you for taking the time, and I don't see anybody trying to call in. Till next time.